Sweden reopened its consulate office in Manila recently to lay the groundwork for Swedish businesses wanting to break into the local market. I sat down with Business Sweden, that's the business and trade facilitation body, President and CEO Ylva Berg, and asked her where exactly they're seeing opportunities.
We discussed the needs of the Philippines when it comes to everything from ports to airports to buses and the infrastructures like bridges and roads, basically. And I believe we have had a very good dialogue, and our supply from Swedish companies fits very well with what the Philippines are looking for. So it felt good.
You've talked about possibly opening a Business Sweden office here once again. There used to be one in the Philippines that shut down back in 2008, if I understood correctly. What sort of conditions need to be there this time around in order for you to push through with opening an office?
Well, we believe that, as the government of Sweden does, that the developments for the Philippines have been very good over the last 5-6 years. And financial development has been outstanding, really. And since the fit between the infrastructural investments that the Philippines are doing and what we are pretty good at supplying is very well, I think that it's a promising situation to open a trade office again, but I think I give it some more time.
So just a scoping exercise for now. I mean, outside of infrastructure and transportation, any other sectors in the Philippines that are looking interesting for the delegation?
Absolutely. I would say also that healthcare is of great interest, but also infrastructure from an ICT perspective, telecommunication. And also, I would say, defense and security is also highly interesting. We haven't discussed energy, but I think that should also most likely be on a future list of possible topics to discuss. Well, I would say when it comes to education, I think that not only the Philippines, but many countries like ourselves, for example, we need to have agile education that that can adjust the workforce with a shorter type of education to the needs of the marketplace. Like, for example, when it comes to higher automation in the manufacturing industry, that might come sooner than the Philippines are anticipating right now, but also when it comes to digitalization. I think that if we could provide intensive courses like that to make the workforce even more competitive than what you are today. But actually, I have to admit that I think that it's a very skilled employment base that I see in the Philippines already now.
Now, this is something I asked the minister as well. Does the fact that the Philippines still have very stringent foreign ownership limits, is that a concern at all at this stage, from what you've heard from the delegation?
That was one of the questions that was raised when we talked to the Department of Trade and Industry, and it was certainly a discussion that we had. But I would say that that is also most likely something that we will evolve over time and adjust. And right now, I don't see that maybe as the biggest concern as it is right now. From our point of view, from Business Sweden's point of view, we help to identify business opportunities. And then I think that we need to be in a very close dialogue to see how we best can cooperate together so that it becomes a true win-win situation. It's a long-term relationship that we are entering into, and that is how we have to look at it.
Any Swedish companies that are interested in the transportation sector in the Philippines? I mean, you mentioned having met with some of these executives earlier on.
Yes, I believe for sure that both Volvo AB is very interested in continuing discussions with the government of the Philippines, but of course also Scania. They both have very competitive and reliable solutions that should be ideal for Manila and for other big cities in the Philippines. But also when it comes to railroads and to airports and to ports, I believe that there are Swedish sub-suppliers that have very interesting solutions, like for example Ericsson, who you might not immediately think of when it comes to infrastructure.
Most people know them to be the cell phone maker.
Yeah, but that was some years ago. Now it's very much about mobility and smart cities and resolving things in a more digitalized way that makes the solutions even smarter. But also, I would say, sub-suppliers like Saab and Axis, for example, when it comes to surveillance, keeping track of traffic jams and just keeping track of the flow of the traffic. Saab has a wide portfolio of different type of solutions. It's not only defense, but it's also security and surveillance. So I think that they have an interest in many ways in the Philippines, but also when it comes to transportation, as I mentioned before.